It's a toxic world.
I am full of toxins.
We get sick because we have toxins in our body.
Celebrities have created this belief that we're supposed to detox our bodies.
The only benefit of detoxing is for the companies that make the products.
This is an infrared sauna.
People want simple solutions to complex problems.
I'm about to get a ionic foot bath.
Detoxing is huge business.
They're promoting this for the treatment of serious diseases.
I'm someone who's had cancer at least 2 times.
I would not put any of this anywhere near your lower genital tract.
I care what the science says, but I also care what the science is not saying.
We all want to stay young forever.
There's an entire industry that is talking to being dissatisfied with ourselves.
But we live in a world full of noise.
Celebrity diets and detox.
Of science versus pop culture. I'm here to change that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed my pleasure to introduce Timothy Caulfield.
Well, good evening. Holy cow, do we live in crazy times. Increasingly, we're in a world that is kind of science versus pop culture. This is more than just about celebrities. I think this is really about how we think about science. I'm going to try to convince you that this matters.
I did a cleanse a while back, and I'm thinking of doing another one.
I did mine more for health reasons.
You need to change your habit from time to time.
Once in a while, we need that cleanse.
I'm going to try to convince you that a lot of this is fake. How long did you go on the cleanse for?
For 2 weeks.
The first couple days were really hard, but then it was awesome.
I'm going to try to convince you that we need to explore this. We need to find some real answers.
It seems like more and more people are doing cleanses and detoxes.
It is kind of the thing.
I bet everyone in this room has heard of a detox. And if I asked that question even 7, 8 years ago, it would be a very different answer. So let's get started.
Detoxing has become very popular.
And one of the best examples of how popular it's become is the number of books out there on detoxing and cleansing. They're absolutely everywhere. So you've got your 1 month, your 4 week, your 21 day, your 14 day right over there, then your 12, then your 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 day detox. Now, I've got a 30-second detox for you guys. I did it right before I came up, right? Didn't I? And I think I'm glowing.
Detoxing is trendy, but it's not new.
People have been detoxing for a long time. Now you try to purge toxins from your bodies, but before you tried to purge demons. A detoxification ritual is really a lot like an exorcism in which you try to take this foreign invader that's come into you and get rid of it. There's support for this in science, actual science, in the sense that we do get infected by bacteria or viruses, and so we do have to purge those things from our body. But of course, as with any health myth, that grain of truth gets exploded into all kinds of irrational practices.
Detox really dates back to the 1800s, and it really started with John Harvey Kellogg. John Harvey Kellogg, of course, of Kellogg's company fame, was really the first big proponent of detox. Kellogg was a very interesting man. I think he was probably a good man. I mean, he didn't mean to misguide people at all. But he had some very strange beliefs. He thought that the sex act was a dangerous one because it robbed the body of energy that could be used for removing toxins.
Sex is an anti-detox
That's
act.
right, that's right. But he did have 30-odd children. They were all adopted. Kellogg lived a long time. He died at the age of 93. Mind you, he died insane. The SAN, which was the sanitarium he built in Battle Creek, Michigan, people from around the world, famous people, Bertrand Russell, American presidents, would come to the SAN essentially to be cured of diseases they never had. These were the rich hypochondriacs. One of the patients at this sanitarium was Charles Post of Post cereal fame. And he went there because he had digestion problems and he wanted to be detoxed. Well, it didn't work for him, but he saw that the Kellogg brothers were making a lot of money with this. So he figured he could get into that too. The first cereal he made was Grape Nuts Flakes. Never had any grapes, never had any nuts. He just thought that it sounded healthy.
So do you think my Fruit Loops and Captain Crunch helped me detox when I was a little kid?
While the cereal wars helped to start the detox craze, it's not bran flakes that have kept it around. Our fears and questions lie deep in the unknown. An introduction to toxins.
We live in a toxic world, but we don't have to live in toxic bodies.
We were never meant to deal with all these chemicals that are now in our bodies.
A world full of lies and deception, politics and corporations, pollution and waste. Our idea and definition of toxins has become the front for the detox industry.
It's kind of a toxic world.
I am full of toxins. I am so sick.
So how do we mitigate the toxins that we're being exposed to every day?
We get sick because we have toxins in our body.
The term toxin is often misapplied. In the context of detoxing, it simply refers to the stuff you don't want in your body. Any unwanted chemical, parasite, or germ. It is something that is bad and needs to be removed.
People's desire to be healthy, and chemicals are good scapegoats, you know, to blame if anything goes wrong. And if you get them out of your body, you'll be better. We do live in a dirty environment if you define dirt as the number of substances to which we are exposed.
I suppose the thinking is that since we're exposed to all these chemicals, we need to detox.
If you Google detox, you're going to get sent to sites that advertise it. And obviously, because people purchase ad space, you know, somebody's detox is going to be that first thing. And we know if you're not on the first page of the internet, you may as well be in Siberia.
Okay, let's see what kind of detoxification stuff I can find. Detoxification is absolutely everywhere on the internet. Here's a detoxifying yoga, so I'll give that a try. Inverted spine twist. Mental clarity, and it's supposed to detoxify my digestive system. Okay, here's another good one. So this is a Detox. The goal here is to help remove accumulated waste products from the body. Sexy cat with a twist. Calms the nervous system and rejuvenates the body and mind. Tastes like tea. This one kind of hurts, actually. Okay, best detox ever. It's a beer detox. I don't think there's any science behind this. This is just beer. The back bend, it increases blood flow to the belly. I think they're detoxifying my dignity more than me. The goal here is to detoxify my lymph system. That was close. Here's my magnet kit. You're supposed to wear these things for 8 hours a day. This is called inversion therapy. It's a form of detoxification. It does not feel great. I can feel the blood rushing to my head. What if that's all the toxins gathering in my brain? How do I get out of here? Went shopping, got all the ingredients I need for a hair detox. Let's give these all a try and see how detoxified my hair turns out. I'm afraid I'm gonna have an afro at the end of this. I'm gonna look more like a cauliflower. First one's called the No Poo Shampoo. A lot of baking soda. Not sure how baking soda helps detoxify. Okay, I'll give it a try. Seems kind of benign.
So this is a two-step process. I'm supposed to rinse with vinegar too, so we'll do that. Ugh. First detoxification complete. Eyes burning a bit. So the ingredients for the lemon cucumber shampoo, the lemons, cucumber, olive oil. Sounds like kind of yummy. Maybe I'll have it for breakfast. I can feel the chunks of the cucumber on my head. I got my mouth. Tastes good. The clay hair detox. The magical properties of clay. So this is bentonite clay, aloe vera and apple cider. This one smells disgusting. But here I go. Working it in. I feel like I got dirt on my head. That's about it.
The experience of putting an array of sauces, clays, and blended fruit in my hair was interesting, but I'm confused about how and why hair detoxing is even a thing. According to the do-it-yourself hair detox websites, it all comes back to toxins and chemicals. A lot of sites say toxins can be absorbed through our hair. As hair slowly grows, toxins become trapped in our hair follicles.
Well, your hair is dead. It's dead keratin, it's not living. So that would be like trying to detox a rock or a granite countertop. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Detoxing is confusing. So why do we even need to get rid of these chemicals? Joe Schwartz is an expert in chemistry and interpreting science for the masses. He has written numerous books and articles on science and nutrition and how it is often misinterpreted by pop culture. There is no one better to have this conversation with.
Okay, let's slow down. Detox from what? What are the chemicals that you are removing, and where is the evidence that you're removing it? Have you examined your urine? Is there something there that would not be there if you weren't detoxing? Or, is there something reduced in the blood, or is there something coming out of your skin? We live in a world that is chemically very, very complex. And yes, there are chemicals inside of us. We are indeed nothing more than a very large bag of chemicals of incredible complexity. And it's an excellent example of how the presence of chemical does not equal to the presence of risk.
So everyone recognizes Katy Perry, right? There's Katy, one of the most famous people alive. And so when she was getting ready for this cover, she went on a cleanse. Right? She took supplements and she didn't drink coffee, but basically it was a cleanse, a detox. Celebrities have created this trend, this idea, this belief that we're supposed to detox our bodies. So that's why she did it, because she really wanted to glow for that cover of that magazine. It's not the Photoshop, it's not the genetics, it's not the world-class photographer, it's the cleanse.
Celebrity culture really does matter. We're all predisposed to follow celebrities. For most of human history, there would have been an advantage to identifying and learning from individuals with prestige. This is because they likely had prestige for some evolutionarily advantageous reason. Fast forward to today, and we seem to be influenced by celebrities for everything. In fashion tips, fitness and eating, endorsed products, and health advice like detoxes and cleanses. Seems weird that all this advice flows from people who aren't experts or health professionals.
All of that noise, all that advice is really about how to live a healthy life.
Some of the detoxes that celebrities endorse are relatively harmless, while others are potentially dangerous.
We have to start with Gwyneth, of course. Now, Gwyneth, I think, gets the prize for the single most ridiculous bit of health advice. Can you guess where I'm going with this? The vagina steam, right? We're gonna make up a vagina steam detox today together, right?
Toxins get a lot of hits on the internet, and vaginas get a lot of hits on the internet. So I think that it's a perfect marriage,
Dr. Jen Gunter is an OBGYN with more letters after her name than I can remember. She's one of the select few physicians in the United States who holds 4 board certifications, and she has some very well-informed opinions on vagina steaming.
The thing that bothers me about these things is the erosion of science. The more ridiculous things you believe, the easier it is to believe something else that's ridiculous.
The vagina steam ingredients vary. The potions can include everything from rosemary to lavender, oregano, marigold, and rose petals. The list goes on and on.
It kind of smells like bad mulled wine, I think.
As far as you know, there's nothing in here that could have any kind of biological impact on your body in the way it's claimed.
Yeah, I would not put any of this anywhere near your lower genital tract.
I wonder how many emergency room visits are the result of the vagina steam.
All joking aside, this body part is serious business. It's not an area where you want to try a boiling hot home remedy.
Let's look online at a couple of some of the advice that's out there, right? The kind of things that it says it will do. We have here the claim that it will help you with bladder and yeast infections.
Not possible.
Vaginal cysts.
No, not at all. No.
Will a V-steam help hemorrhoids? Now, my anatomy isn't...
No.
We got irregular and painful periods.
No, they're not going to help with that, but a hot water bottle on your belly might help.
This next one sounds kind of serious, too. It's recovery from hysterectomy. That getting the reaction right there, I think, is the answer.
No, yeah, no, none of it.
Oh, bring the vagina puppet into the party.
A vulvovaginal puppet, and if you want to get the steam, you know, and you're going to have to squat over it, you're going to be pretty close to that, and that's going to be uncomfortable. So there's a risk of burns. Air doesn't just travel up into the vagina.
Does it work that way?
No, it doesn't work that way at all. In fact, the vagina has very little oxygen in it. When you have intercourse or when you put something in, you introduce oxygen into the vagina, but it's a very low oxygen environment, and that's part of what keeps sort of the vaginal ecosystem healthy. If by some chance you were pushing air into the vagina, that would actually be really bad because the vagina is meant to be low oxygen. Every single day I talk to women about how they shouldn't be over-cleaning their vulva and that how there's no cleaning for the vagina needed at all. The whole unit is a self-cleaning oven. It's got an eco-niche that takes care of everything. If you think about it, you know, how many years have humans been on the planet? If it needed special care that required modern technology, none of us would be here. It's a lot easier to prey on people when you're talking about the genital tract because that's a really hard thing to have a conversation about at a dinner party, right? You can talk about your headaches, you can say, oh, and people can say, oh, I tried this. But you know, if you're out with your friends for dinner and you're like at the restaurant, what are you gonna say? I wanna talk about my vagina. I'm having a problem. My vagina's a mess. You're not gonna say that, right? And so people are more likely to kind of look in clandestine places, I think, because we're talking about things that in our puritanical society people can't really talk about. I don't want anybody out there getting the idea that this should be used in any way except the aroma is quite pleasing. So, you know, if you like a nice smell in your house, this could be a natural air freshener maybe.
Yeah.
While the trampoline has been around for a while, rebounding gained popularity in the 1980s. NASA was studying the potential benefits for helping astronauts regain bone and muscle mass after being in space. So it must be good, right?
Holy cow, it was hard. It was a tough workout. You know, I found it to be both aerobically challenging, and you know what? I think I was probably your least coordinated student.
That's not true, but whatever. That's probably how you felt.
There's no doubt that's a good workout, but what are some of the other benefits?
It's a great workout for your cells, for every single cell in your body, but it's also great for your lymphatic system. So every time we're jumping up and down, it opens and closes the valves of the lymphatic system, which is that system that gets rid of all your toxins so you feel light and great afterwards.
You know what? I felt a little bit nauseous when I was bouncing up.
Your lymphatic system is ridiculously complex. It involves hundreds of lymph nodes that are distributed throughout your body. This system plays an important role in fighting infection and removing waste, including damaged cells and bacteria. It's no wonder that the proponents of detoxes see this as a vital system in need of cleansing.
So you really feel like it helps to detoxify your body?
It's the up and down movement that stimulates the lymphatic system, and that movement you don't get with any other type of workout. At the top of every bounce, you are weightless for a split second. So for that split second, the body releases endorphins.
For sure, exercise can have an impact on the immune system. But there is no science to support the ideas around rebounding and the immune system.
I definitely got a good workout from it. And I consider myself kind of a fit guy, you know, and I found that really challenging.
Yeah.
A little skeptical on the detoxing thing, you know, but it's a great workout, and if that's what motivates people to do it.
Yeah, no, it's a great workout, but it's the most important is the detox. Most people come thinking that they're getting a great workout, which they are.
Yeah.
But what they're really getting and they're not aware of, it's the detox.
Whether the detoxification worked or not, I guarantee you I got a great workout.
And don't forget, trampolines can be dangerous. There are about 100,000 trampoline injuries every year in the U.S. alone. In the past 10 years, trampoline injuries cost the healthcare system $1 billion. I wonder if the detoxing rebounders think about this.
Detoxification, in part, is just a way to fundamentally alter your way of life, as if after you've done that, you can be a different person than you were before. There's a reason that detoxification rituals require you to deny yourself pleasures. Right? You have to work out extra hard and really cause yourself pain. It is a time of renewal, right? You can be reborn, and after that rebirth, after that purification, you are new again, and you can start over fresh and clean.
While some detox regimens at least give you a workout, others are completely useless and seek to sell you magic.
I'm at a holistic health center about to get a ionic foot bath. Never had one before. Very curious how this is going to play out. A tub of water and a little bit of salt. I put my feet in. And then it's got this electrical doodad here that is actually causing the detoxification process, drawing out the toxins. And the water will change color. And it's my understanding that as it changes color, you can determine what kind of toxins are being pulled out, and the color of the water will give you that sense. I've also been given a glass of vitamins, so I've got the supplements and the vitamins going in and the toxins coming out. So, cheers. It's gone from completely clear to a kind of disgusting brown. Not a great color. I'm not sure what toxins that's supposed to represent, but it's definitely changing color.
The solution becomes dark, and the message is that the notorious toxins have come out of your body.
So now it's gone from a kind of transparent brown to opaque brownness. Looks really sludgy. The color really is supposed to indicate what kind of toxins are coming out and what kind of body part is involved. I've been told this is a kidney-ish color, maybe some joint action happening here. And, you know, and to be honest with you, it's much more intense than I thought. I thought the color change would be very, very subtle. This ain't subtle. If you're going for a visual of toxins, this is pretty good.
It's nothing to do with toxins coming out of your body. But if you don't know physiology, you don't know, anything about electrolysis, it's a very, very seductive thing.
It looks real.
It looks real.
To do the ultimate test, I bought my own machine to create a similar electric current in the water.
What is actually going on here is a process called electrolysis. There are two electrodes that are implanted in this gizmo. One is iron and one is aluminum. And an electric current passes between these. The iron electrode starts to react with oxygen, and you get iron oxide, which is rust. And that is the color that you see.
Within a span of 15 minutes, the water began to change color. By 45 minutes, there was no difference.
The reason that this happens to more or less some extent when you put your feet into it is because we do sweat various kinds of minerals. We sweat calcium and we sweat magnesium. So depending on how much you're sweating, you will increase the ionic strength of that solution, so you will get slightly different colors. It's a very compelling thing.
So there it is. That's the result. Look at that, no feet in this at all. This was just 45 minutes of nothing. And as you can see, you got all this change happening. I mean, this is total BS. I mean, this is a really good example of what's ultimately nothing but a marketing scam.
I tell you what is really the dangerous thing here. They're promoting this for the treatment of serious diseases. And that's how you reel in the people who have colon diseases, Crohn's disease, cancer. They will do this because desperate people will do desperate things. When it comes to the foot bath and they're out and out telling you that this removes the toxins from your body and that removal of the toxins is going to cure you, then we're looking at a criminal activity.
So we know that some of the detox claims are clearly, blatantly false. But for others, the evidence is less clear.
This is an infrared sauna. It looks like a traditional sauna, but it's actually not. Traditional saunas heat the air, whereas infrared heats objects in the body, pulls out heavy metals, radiation, and environmental pollutants out of your fat cells. It downs your cortisol levels, which is your stress hormone, and releases happy chemicals like serotonin, endorphins, and dopamine. It's so good for your skin. It purifies your skin. Your skin is glowing. It builds more collagen. It increases blood flow and circulation. It oxygenates the blood.
Wow. Is there anything the sauna doesn't do? Sweating out your toxins is not a new idea. It's been around for thousands of years. The ancient Greeks and the Romans used baths to remove bad humors. And the use of sweat lodges as a purification ritual is a well-known practice in many Native American communities. In some ways, this is a more modern take on these well-known practices.
So what's the infrared part of it?
So the infrared is the panels that you see behind you and the panels that you see in front of you. So this is an invisible wavelength. It's the exact same thing that the sun emits when you're outside on a warm, sunny day.
Infrared is marketed as energy from these lights penetrating beneath the skin and getting absorbed by deep tissue, thus detoxing your system as you sit there.
There's all sorts of different ways to get your body into a state of healing. So ultimately, that's what the infrared sauna does. And when you're in a state of healing, the body can heal itself naturally.
So I am healing my body as I sit in this heat.
So you know, healthy body inside equals beautiful body outside. And I think that that's something that we're really starting to adopt now.
I love that motto, but how true is the detoxing part of infrared? It all sounds amazing, and it is quite relaxing.
The toxins are really starting to flow.
But there's no evidence that the sauna detoxes anything. The sweat on my brow is just that, regular old sweat.
We all make these sort of cognitive mistakes. We're all prone to seeing connections where connections don't exist.
And we also have to be honest, science doesn't have all the answers. You know, I mean, there are mysteries out there that we haven't solved and probably never will solve. So, but we don't claim to have all of the answers. The real danger is that they can mislead people from therapies that actually work. People will feel better thinking that they have been detoxed. I mean, you know, the mind plays all kinds of interesting games with the body.
So what effect does this have on our body? I have an answer. But first, I have to look at a detox craze that has become a cultural phenomenon. As we continue to explore the detox phenomenon, meeting the people involved and diving deep into detox fads that make you turn your head, it would be a shame if we didn't mention the most popular detox of them all, the juice cleanse.
I have a shower every day, and I want to clean the inside of me every day, too. It's about a daily program. I feel really good all the time because I drink a lot of juice. Cleansing, detoxing is huge business, right? I mean, huge, huge business.
Huge business indeed. The total juice cleansing market in the U.S. alone is well over $2 billion a year. That's a lot of bottled fruits and vegetables. Just to give you one example.
So what kind of money are you spending on it right now?
Well, the last juice cleanse I did was a week, and it's about $500.
Wait, $500 a week on juice? You're looking at about roughly $50 to $60 a day on juicing, or $26,000 a year on juice. Why would anyone be enticed to spend this much?
For me, it's the reset button. I get to push the button, you know, 3, 5, 7-day cleanse, and I kind of feel like I'm back to where I was before I started.
Sometimes a cleanse helps you get back on track because it's discipline.
Your body's your temple, so I believe in the green for healing. It's giving your body the tools it needs to heal itself.
The juice cleanse is yet another process that attempts to rid the body of toxins, typically by consuming only liquid nutrients. It often involves a very strict diet that is meant to last for a specific period of time. The juices vary from do-it-yourself homemade contraptions to locally produced cold-pressed products to industrial-sized factories pumping out massive amounts of juicy, healthy goodness. This has made it easy for people at all levels to enter the market.
You are the owner of this juice shop.
In the last 5 years, I've seen quite a few shops open up, and there's quite a bit of competition. But I think that's a good thing because it also creates more awareness.
I make green juice and I deliver it to people's offices every morning. I wanted to create the most densely nutritional juice I could put in my body.
This is my product. It's my third one today.
This is something you do every day for the medicinal benefits, for giving your body the tools it needs to heal itself.
It's pretty good.
My happiness level's really high. My energy level's really high.
There we go.
I felt an abundance of energy from juicing, from changing my eating habits, and I said, there's something here.
There's something there for sure. The increasing popularity of juice bars has changed urban culture in major cities throughout the world. From Japan to London to New York, you can find a juice shop wherever you go, and they're all selling the same thing: healthy living, cleansing, and a better life. Everyone seems to claim it truly detoxes. And let's not forget the condensing argument.
You're condensing all these veggies in a very nutritionally dense juice. The amount of juice I drink a day, I would not be able to eat if it was just in a veggie form.
Some people will say, well, why not just eat the fruits and vegetables, right?
You can't eat that much volumetric food and get that kind of nutrient out.
If you're busy and you don't have time to wash the fruit, cut the fruit, make a salad, all that prep work is done for you by drinking a bottle of cold-pressed juice.
Cold press has become a fashion statement in the juice industry. The cold press process uses a hydraulic press that slowly squeezes the fresh fruits and vegetables to extract the juice. The claim is that because the approach uses no additional heat, fewer nutrients are lost. The idea is that the cold press technique keeps all the goodness in the bottle. This creates a product that will, or so the theory goes, allow you to drink all your meals and, yep, flush out all those evil toxins.
It is certainly true that the closer we are to a plant-based diet, although not exclusively a plant-based diet, the better off we are. But that doesn't mean that eating concentrated plants does any more good.
Is there anything magical to drinking your calories like that?
Of course not.
To get a better answer, I sat down with my university's nutrition team to discuss the health benefits of juicing.
There's evidence saying that drinking your calories has negative effects. Yeah. It doesn't quell your appetite. Yeah. It doesn't, you drink more than you would eat if you were eating the fruit.
Yeah. The best thing about juicing is that you get an abundance of vitamins and minerals in a condensed form. You can have a cold-pressed juice and flood your body with all these vitamins and minerals and feel amazing. It helps us eliminate better. We want to eliminate the toxins.
Show me, as they say in Missouri. Where are these toxins that are being removed going? I mean, the only way that you can remove them is through the urine or through sweat. They kind of have the image that the human body is some sort of complicated system of pipes that, have to be periodically rinsed through, and that juicing does that. This is just not the way that things work.
The false quest for a flushing of toxins is something that already happens automatically in our bodies. We have body parts made for this very thing: the liver and the kidneys.
You're a kidney expert, so how do you respond when you hear people talk about all these detoxes and cleanses?
The kidneys are smarter than you are, so let your kidneys take care of the detoxing or the cleansing, and let the body do its job. Don't mess with nature. Nature got it right.
The kidneys are especially important in this context. They filter about 120 to 150 quarts of blood a day to produce 1 to 2 quarts of urine, composed of waste and extra fluid.
So you don't need juice.
You don't need to juice. You don't need to drink 8 glasses of water a day. Your body will tell you what you need when you need it. And your kidneys, if they're working properly, should do the rest.
People who say that they feel better, There's no question about that. If something like that makes you feel better, go ahead. But don't think that it is going to magically detox the body.
Look, I know detoxing seems like it's just a silly trend that is aimed at frivolous things like weight loss and trying to revitalize your body. But we can't forget that it's also being pushed for serious stuff, like curing cancer and preventing cancer. And it's being represented in the popular press relatively uncritically, as if this is a real thing that can work. And that's a problem. Andrea, tell me a little bit about your life story and what brought you into these kinds of establishments.
I'm someone who's had cancer, possibly 3 times, at least 2 times in my life. And I've just been looking for alternative ways to help support my immune system as I go through different sorts of treatments. I did yoga, I did meditation, I did acupuncture. One guy sold me $500 a month worth of supplements, detox this and detox that and cleanse. I even went to some woman from Barbados who, like, you know, said she's shrinking the tumor with her thoughts. But a lot of people go through this, especially when it's your second time and you're still relatively young. Through all this data and all these differing opinions, like, what's real? What always came up is fruits and vegetables. People that are terminal when they change their diet, and there are studies behind this, their quality of life is better. So is this green juice gonna, like, save my cancer? I don't know, right? But is this green juice going to boost my immunity and give me a fighting chance against the toxicity that is in our environment, is in the electromagnetic waves, is in the fumes coming off everything? I believe it will.
And you really feel that the juicing does help your immune system?
It's practical knowledge that fruits and vegetables and non-processed food and low sugar and moving your body and smiling can only help, right? Like, it's not magic.
What if the science says it doesn't work? What if the science says that this stuff isn't?
But again, this idea of science, like, science keeps evolving and changing, right? There was times that science said this works, now they realize it doesn't.
For many people, they'll say, I don't care what the science says,
right.
This works for me, and that's really what's important.
I don't think they're saying that they don't care what the science says, is that they're saying that science has only brought me so far. I care what the science says, but I also care what the science is not saying.
What would you say to these people that claim that detoxing has helped them? And some of them, you know, they're serious situations where they've had cancer.
Everyone wants to live a long time. Everyone wants to be healthy. Humans are interesting creatures in every way. When something goes wrong with us, we want an explanation. We want to find what happened. People claim that the detox has helped them or some dietary supplement has helped them, you know, overcome cancer. Then, of course, you question them, and it turns out that, but they've also had chemotherapy, they've had radiation, in most cases they've had surgery, but it is the supplement that gets the credit. When science doesn't have the answer, which unfortunately is often the case. You know, we have to say, I don't know, very often. The quacks will never say that. They will never say, I don't know. They will always have a solution. It will be simple and wrong.
Cleansing may seem extreme in some cases, and some people have turned to detoxing from the other end, the colonic cleanse.
The #1 reason people come in is detoxification. They also come in for digestive issues like constipation, IBS, that sort of thing. So we really just cleanse out the waste that should have left the body, but it really didn't.
Okay, so how's this experience feel?
No, it's not uncomfortable at all. It's just like having a problem.
Most people will think of the process as being the same thing as an enema. There are similarities, but the colon cleanse, also known as colon hydrotherapy, is a process that infuses water into the colon via the rectum to flush the system. How often do you get it done?
I've been doing it every week for the last maybe 6 months now.
So would you recommend this procedure to everyone?
I would. Yes, especially if you want to detox, depending on what your situation is, it is definitely important to do it as often as you can.
There are risks associated with this procedure. Does that worry you at all?
There's actually a higher risk in getting a colonoscopy than there is doing a colonic.
Of course, we don't get colonoscopies every week for months on end.
For me, and I've also have a skin issue, and I also have digestive issues as well. So when I'm backed up and I'm not going, it manifests through my skin. So I've noticed a huge difference when I do get a colonic, my skin kind of calms down.
It allegedly cleanses the colon, including getting rid of trapped gas, toxins, and a buildup of waste to help your digestive system function more effectively. It sounds complex, sciencey, and a bit unnecessary, but this strange procedure seems to be the last hope for the proponents of the detox. Does the colonic actually work, or is it just dangerous?
Yeah, don't let someone put a tube up your rectum into your colon and flush water in there. Again, sort of going back to that evolutionary anthropological sort of thing, if we were meant to flush out our colons, we would have a different design for our rectum. We would. It's not meant to do that. People can have colonic perforations from that, which is a life-threatening emergency, seriously. You're gonna cause micro tears in the colon, which could then lead to health problems. It's not meant to be flushed out. Cleanses and things like that, there are all kinds of studies that show that they can be, very dangerous. And I think the other thing is that they also sometimes turn people away from the right care. So if you have symptoms and you're ill or unwell, and you're relying on this detox or cleanse, then you're not actually getting the real help that you might actually need.
So there it is, the detox. A word so commonly thrown around in our lives, the claim of flushing out the bad and keeping us pure and good. But does this really help us live a longer life? Is this our solution to the problem of mortality?
There are no simple solutions. There's no one factor that is going to make us live that long. So I don't think that we're going to cheat death. This is inevitable. Nobody gets out of life alive.
I think we all know this, deep down. But we've met a lot of people who swear by it.
No matter what silly regimen is out there, you will have adherents to it. You will have people who swear that whatever intervention, whether it was drinking wheatgrass juice or rubbing yourself with some energy device, it will get the credit.
So, should we give some credit when credit is due? What about detoxing being healthy? It can't be bad to just drink fruits and vegetables, can it?
You have to think, what am I doing to my relationship with food and the world if I conceive of it in such a way that it's always potentially poisoning me and something I have to purify myself of? You don't want to have to look out at and live in a world that's fundamentally unclean and threatening. And that's the kind of world that you almost ritually create through the detoxification ritual.
I can confidently say I'm convinced that detoxing isn't a process that is going to keep me around longer. And in some cases, it may even do harm. But it's difficult to be convinced that toxins aren't causing significant health problems and that they aren't inside our bodies, something we need to get rid of.
There are two cornerstones of toxicology. One, only the dose makes the poison. And the other is the presence of a chemical does not equal to the presence of risk.
Then it's our own fears, our own creations, and our own actions that have caused the toxin hype and made way for the detox marketing. Now what do we do?
If any practitioner tells you you need to detox, you should get up and walk out of the office. So you say that you want to detox. So I would say, let's back up and say, what are your symptoms? What are the symptoms that need to be treated? And let's work from there.
As long as you're eating well, exercising well, I think let your liver and let your kidney do the rest.
Let your body do its job.
Let your body do its job.
What about the future? We can decide to ignore the hype and these fears, but will that even help?
What do you think the future is? Do you think it is going to turn? Is it going to be something new?
My hope is that it's swung so far to one side that maybe people will come back.
I think the only benefit of detoxing is for the companies that make the products.
Bottom line, detoxing is a science-free health trend driven by marketing, misinformation, and fear-mongering. Just stop. In fact, I think it's time to detox the detoxes.